Okay, Friday, 24th of July 2026. So, Adrian's daily vlog sharing smart stuff men should know. Thinking steps ahead. Now, one interesting thing that I've uncovered very recently is this security aspect over here, keeping it vague on purpose, is actually better than I anticipated elsewhere. This methodology is better than that one because I assumed certain things and the premise was wrong, or certainly faulty. Logic was sound, but the premise is wrong, and there was an assumption made that turned out to be incorrect. Now, those two blind spots that I didn't know I had limited me from thinking steps ahead, limited me from thinking second, third, fourth, fifth order consequences of specific things in terms of security and possibilities and fallback options and choices and optionality in general. It limited what I was able to do. Now, we realised the blind spot and we improved things. We ironed out the details and improved the system overall so it's much more dynamic, much more responsive, much more secure in general, and just in case. And it got me thinking that we need to be thinking steps ahead, but not just thinking 10 steps ahead, 20, 30 steps ahead, but thinking in a sense of critical dependencies, high impact failure points, irreversible actions, hidden incentives, branching possibilities, cheap safeguards, and reliable fallback routes. Those are the kind of things we need to be thinking about in terms of operations and logistics. Those are the kind of things we need to be including and strategizing about from day one, so that when this situation happens, we have this backup. When that situation happens, we have this fallback that cost £1 to create. If this situation happens, we have, well, this incentive doesn't change, things like that. So, for example, there was one particular scenario I was thinking of months ago, and I thought, in terms of branching possibilities, for the sake of, say, $5 device, this whole possible branch of scenarios, this whole disaster over here, could be avoided, all for the sake of $5, £5, things like that. These are the kind of things you need to be thinking about at a strategical, both in a way, a strategical, big picture, and tactical, micro, small picture, well, zoomed in picture, so to speak, level when it comes to decision making on operations and logistics. One thing I've started to do and appreciate more via my clients is thinking more in systems, thinking more in making things adaptable, making pipelines secure, making it easy, making this fallbacks, making it possible to change this, change that on the fly, increasing optionality, but also minimizing downside risk, minimizing problems. Like, for example, I had the idea of security, and the premise that I was working with was false, and it was easily replaceable by something that I didn't anticipate, didn't think about. The details are not important right now, but the fact that that premise could easily been replaced by something else made the whole system, made the whole framework possible, operational. These are the kind of things we need to be thinking about. Again, critical dependencies, high impact failure points, irreversible actions, hidden incentives, branching possibilities, cheap safeguards, and reliable fallback routes. One thing I also start to think about now is, what is the one single action, one single thing that I can do at any one moment that has maximum impact? Leverage, we could say, at a different level, to say, what's that one specific little button I can press and everything else falls into place. Everything else just sorts itself out in a way. That most high impact decision. That's what I also think about now as well. So these are important. Thinking ahead, thinking strategical, being tactical. This is how we avoid problems, because we have planned them out. We have game planned them out days, weeks, months in advance. This is how we reduce errors. This is how we avoid mistakes. This is how we survive, actually, one way, at an even deeper macro level, bigger picture. This is how you survive, by thinking about these things, so that when things do happen, you're not caught off guard. Right? For example, I anticipate an earthquake at any moment here. Therefore, I put certain things, certain valuable things, let's say, sensitive in terms of technology, sensitive things tucked away in certain positions and locations as a cheap safeguard. Don't leave it there, leave it over there, just in case something happens. The chance of it falling on the floor, for example, is a lot less. Things like that. Because then you could say at an even deeper level, is the meta pattern here is that an ounce of prevention is better than, what was it? An ounce of prevention is better than something cure. I can't remember exactly. Thinking ahead in order to minimise the disaster is better than having to do a recovery plan on the day on the fly. That's powerful. Very powerful. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.